Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We finally have it. This is the day where we are going to release the Spicer 5.3 shift pattern. Spicer, kind of. I don't know if Spicer really has a 5.3. But as you can see in the lower right hand corner of your screen, we have stick number 1, stick number 2. So this is going to be part 2 of our twin stick driving, where we're actually driving it like a Spicer. And again, it is a 5.3. We got 5 in the main and we got 3 over here. Even though it's not the typical 4, I am going to be shifting it like this: first, second, and third is bottom right, kind of like a horseshoe. And I have it set up in the middle because this stick is so long that it would otherwise interfere if I was over here. So, and it's already, like, I can't spread it out and push it that much further because it's already pretty far away from me. But that is what we have going on. I've practiced several times since the last video. Everything is good to go. Everything works. And we are going to take a drive today in Viper's 379, 389. This is what I've been driving almost every day for the past 2 weeks. Almost. Except for to record other videos. So I'm very familiar with I haven't changed the engine on it. I believe we got Slavjerry's N14 in here. It is a 3.2 differential. And we are hauling Ruda's Polar Tanker behind us. And we've got 41,895 pounds of crude oil. And we're headed over, by the way, we're in Rock Springs right now. We are headed over to Casper. So that is what is on the agenda for today. Now, normally I have like part 2 or something else that I'm going to talk about. I really don't have a whole lot on the docket for today. That's the truck, that's the trailer. We're going to be shifting 2 sticks, and that's pretty much it. Some of the time I'm not even going to be saying anything, just so you can watch me shift. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. I'm not perfect at this. I'm really not. Feel free to laugh. It's okay. We need to have a sense of humor about this. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get going. Okay, in the yard, we'll get the windows down. Get the 4-ways on. I believe we already have our driving lights on, so that's good. We have 41,000 pounds. I'm actually going to go ahead and start it over here in first gear. And we'll go ahead and start in... Oh, by the way, reverse. In order to make it work with all the assignments, this is how I'm triggering reverse mode. So I've just taken it out of reverse mode. It's really the only way because you can't do enough assignments. It's just a limitation in the game right now. Let's go ahead and start out with 1-1. It's a little bit unnecessary, but it'll give us more time to see shifting. So let's get going. I am floating as much as I can, sometimes on the downshift, moving 2 sticks. Sometimes I do just go ahead and use the clutch, but I float as much as I can. So we're just floating, moving the auxiliary until we get over. There's 1-3. Now we're out of auxiliary. We got to move into the main. Oh, missed the first one. Missed the... Oh, because I went into 4. Still getting used to the stick. Sometimes it moves a little bit farther than I want.
Are you kidding?
This is a little boring in the yard now. So let's get some outside view on this Viper. Oh, let's get some beacons going. There we go. I like it. Let's see where I'm going as I'm going through the gate. I'm headed off to the right here. Yeah, I have not actually been out to this Exxon in Rock Springs before. It's the first time. Go ahead and get the 4-ways off. We're out of the yard. Get the windows up. And it's time to shift again. As you can see down below, at the very bottom of the screen in the center, that is where I have the gear that I'm in, so you know what I'm doing. And let's be honest, so I know what I'm doing too. Oh, I think I have to go off to the left. Or Yeah, because I haven't been here before. Yep, that was correct. Oh, we got to go into 3. Got that one. And by the way, it is, you have to remember to steer at the same time. So I kind of line it up with my forearm right before I do the shift, or I'll overcompensate on a curve so that I can leave the steering wheel for just a little bit and still be able to recover it because it hasn't gone off too far. But it is a little bit of a talent. It's a skill, and I don't have it yet. Thought all the windows went up. There we go. I'm going to put it to 2-1. I think we can still do that. I see pavement over there. That's a good sign. We're going in the right direction. Massive oil field here. Never been to it. Or at least not that I remember. Let's go 3-1. Floating. I've got my foot on the guarding the clutch, but I'm not using it right now.
Go straight.
There's 3-3. And now I'm set up to go to 4-1 on a curve. So I'm going to compensate a little bit so I don't go off the road. Probably get pulled over for that. But sometimes it lines up just the right way where when you have to shift, you're making a turn or you're on a curve, and it's not great. I'm liking Slavjerry's N14 in here. Good mix. Goes really well with the truck. And we are just tearing down this road here.
After 100 yards, turn right.
Double clutch for that one. Still not quite confident to be doing a whole lot of floating down. Not quite yet. Oh, why is that guy stopping? I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, I'm not shifting great, but I'm not breaking any rules. Alright, here comes the shift. Ooh, no grind either. Getting there. See if we can get another one, and just in time to be head on with another truck. There we go. Getting there. Definitely getting there. It's a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun. It's definitely not boring. You gotta pay attention all the time, especially when you're going up hills, when you think you might need to downshift. Sometimes I put myself in a certain gear that makes it a lot easier. For example, if I know I'm going to have to downshift, I might put myself in this type of situation in a 4-3 or in a 3-3, where I can easily go to 3-2, 3-1, or 4-2, 4-1, instead of having to worry about on a hill that might have a curve moving the main. Getting up to speed here, and we'll get our first time in 5th. But you see what's going on. Both sticks need to move at the same time once you go to that next main gear. Once you go from 4 to 5 or 3 to 4. Oh, we're going a little fast here. Slow down to 40. Let's hear that, Jake.
Keep left. After 50 yards, turn left.
I clutched that one for sure.
Turn left.
Probably could have gone down lower. Let's do that. 3-2's good. I'm liking this drive so far. I'm getting a lot of opportunity to shift. And here's another reason why I chose the 5-3, because it's pretty easy to map out a 4-4. You have to do a little bit of faking it to get the reverse gears. Like I had assigned this little splitter to be my reverse gear, and it's mimicking what I'm doing with the first main gear. But the other reason why I'm choosing a 5.3 instead of a 5.4, with only 3 auxiliary gears over here, I have to move both sticks more often. It makes for a little bit more interesting video, and I get more practice with it. So those of you who are seeing someone shift a twin stick for the first time and you don't know what's going on, there's plenty of videos going on out there, but basically for every main gear here on this first stick, which has 5 gears, see, I've set myself up bad. If I have to downshift, I gotta move both sticks now. I think we'll be okay. We've got momentum. But yeah, 5 on the main, and we got 3 over here. So every gear here, like first gear, I've got 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So you have 3 different variations of each gear. And then once you've gone through those, let's slow down a little bit. Once you go through those 3 auxiliary gears, you reset again. You go to 2 in the main, and then you got to take this back to first, and it goes on. That's why you got to move both sticks. Slow down just a bit. I am going to keep some momentum though, because we need to get up this hill. I might have to go into 5.1 depending on how long this hill is. I really haven't been on this road for a very long time.
After 100 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Whoa, that's a lot. Take it to 3.3. No one coming. We're good. And we'll go right into a twin shift here. Oh, helps if I take the Jake off. But if I'm not explaining it that well, and you're not really capturing what's going on, there are definitely a lot of YouTube videos. Type in twin stick or type in Spicer transmission. You'll see a lot of examples. People who are shifting and don't do that, who actually know what they're doing. But it's a lot of fun. It's definitely something you got to work on. But if you're in this game because you like a little bit of a challenge, you like to push yourself a little bit, do something a little bit different, then it's a great opportunity. And don't get discouraged. I've been trying this now for the better part of 3 weeks. I got everything fine-tuned with the coding and everything a couple weeks ago, but I've been doing it off and on for about 3 weeks. I watched a lot of videos. I understand the concept. It takes time. It's not something you're going to pick up overnight. It kind of reminds me of something that happened. I was over on Ride Along with Goggles Discord channel. If you guys know Goggles56, he does a lot of skins on the Steam Workshop. But he used to be an actual truck driver, and he offers a lot of good pieces of information, a lot of tutorials, and one of the tutorials that he offers is something that I'm still working on, and it's backing up a B-double. And just like Goggles says, it's not something you're going to get overnight, so don't get frustrated. Just keep working with it. Go at your own pace, and when you feel like you're ready to kind of take that leap into the next part of it, if you're looking to, like, for example, I started just using the clutch. I was focused on just getting the right positions, and it's a lot of muscle memory too, because you shift with your right hand, or if you're in the UK, you shift, or Europe, you shift with your left, but to then involve your other hand in the shifting pattern. Like my left right now, I'm not used to shifting with that left and going into each individual gear. So even if you have experience on a real manual transmission, like in real life, you're not used to shifting into those positions, let alone with another stick at the same time. So I used the clutch at first, and then when I was comfortable with the positions and I was only grinding it 50% of the time, then I went on to try to float. Now my next step, because I can float pretty well even with moving both sticks upward, I need to figure out, get the timing right so that I can float better on the down gears But it'll take some time. I really just have to become really efficient with both hands is what it comes down to. Move into 5-2. And I think I'm just going to shut up for a while. Got an hour 45 left. Might skip ahead in the videos. We're not doing a whole lot of shifting right now. Also, by driving the same truck with the same engine and the same transmission for a while, I'm very familiar with, like, when I'm taking turns like that and I have to downshift, I pretty much know the transmission pretty well, so I know exactly what gear to go in most of the time. That one was the example of me actually knowing how to do it properly. I don't always make it. I think I missed it earlier on in the video on one of the first times that I was downshifting. And I went into too low of a gear. But you get familiar with it.
Keep left.
So tell me, guys, what do you think? It's kind of all been leading up to this. I can always do some variations like a 4-4. I can do a 5-4. You have to fake it a little bit more by... So I'm already using this on the main stick here. I am using this splitter knob to get me my reverse gears in order to get an additional 4 gears out of it to pop up from a 4-4 to a 5-4. I would have to incorporate the range knob, the range selector. So it's faking it a little bit. It basically means I hit the range knob, I keep the main where it is, move the range knob, and then move back and only move the auxiliary. So it's something I could do. Let me know if you guys think that's something you want to see in the future, but this is pretty much, I mean, I'm really liking the 5.3. We get the concept, even if it's not a 5.4, even if it's not a 6.4 like you typically see in a Spicer, you get the main concept out of it. Some people might prefer going 4.4 because they want to see 4 gears in that auxiliary, but this is essentially how it's done.
50 yards, go straight.
Now that we got that, kind of try to steer. I'm steering with my forearm right now. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, or if I'm just focusing more on the sticks. But take my word for it, you gotta kind of shift with your forearm. I don't have it set up so much where the sticks are moved so far to the left of me. Otherwise, that's when you see people reach through the steering wheel. They also have a bigger steering wheel than I do. I think we're just going to go ahead and leave it right here. We got 20 minutes left on the drive. We are almost there. Not great weather,
Right.
but we didn't get any rain.
Yards, turn right.
Speaking of which, this is Project Next Gen. This is 1.09 that was just released either yesterday or the day before. So it's one of the new ones out there, and I'm really liking it. They got some new, I do have the PBR textures with it, and that's a real good touch. You can see there's been some upgrades in how it's rendering stuff on the ground, as I just missed it. There we go. Actually went too far over with that main stick. Put it into 5th by accident. Which you wouldn't think is like that easy to do, but when you're paying attention to 2 sticks and you're shifting, like your hand already knows with whatever your dominant hand is, your left or your right, when you're shifting, like you know where the placements of those gears are. But when you have to do it with your other hand, it's not as clear that you're going into 5th instead of 3rd. It's hard to explain.
Go straight. Keep left. After 50 yards, turn left.
I think we're actually right around the corner. If we go that way, I think that's the
Turn left.
yeah, that's the home garage here in Casper.
Turn right.
Watch that shift. Luckily, so far, I've actually got more right than I've missed. And I wasn't doing great at all when I first started, so do not let it discourage you if you want to give it a shot. And
100 yards, turn left.
let's go ahead and get this delivered. But after we get it delivered, I'm going to say a few things about some of the details and the process of getting going with this setup, in case you guys are interested. Rather than do a whole bunch of research on your own, I might have some advice for you guys on what to... Oh, come on, AI. On what to do, what to expect in terms of hardware, in terms of software or coding or different files that you're going to want, so you have an idea of what the expense is going to be. Obviously, you need to buy a second shifter if you don't already have one.
You have reached your destination.
Alright, where are we dropping? Looks like right there. Is that facing which way? Oh, right there. I haven't parked over there in a while. Okay. That's actually not too bad. I think what I'm going to do... What if I just drive around the building? Actually, I've got that opening there. I probably don't need to. That opening in that rail right there. Let's go ahead and get four ways and windows down in the yard. Since we're maneuvering, we'll go ahead and throw on the beacon since we have it. This will actually make it pretty nice so we don't have to blind it in. Straighten out a little bit, and then we'll get it going this way. We should be pretty much lined up, well, more or less. It's not going to be too hard. Gotta maneuver it a little bit. Should have done a little bit better setup. Alright, so I'll go into reverse now with this splitter, and I basically go to the same spot, and I actually have, this is just like 1-1. 1-1, I've got R2, and I've got R3, and they have different ratios to them. So with 41,000 pounds, I'm going to go ahead and go R1, keep it in the lowest. Going back in a good direction here. Want to make sure I'm not going to clip this other trailer. Looking pretty good. Not going to hit anything. Not going to hit that railing. It's actually not too bad of a setup. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a little bit. See if I can see a little bit more out on that right side. Don't go too far, otherwise the cab will hit that other trailer. That's pretty good. I'm liking that. Bring it back. Perfect. Why they've got me parking a tanker here in front of a door, I don't have any idea. But that is what they're doing. Since I'm in a parking spot, we'll get the four ways off, get the windows up, make sure we just have the parking lights on. Go ahead and turn her off. And there we are. Welcome to Casper. And almost 42,000 pounds of crude oil. A few quick things. Obviously, the investment needs to be a second shifter. I happen to have Logitech, so I went ahead and purchased another one. It was $60 for the base. I went ahead and purchased this other guy, which I've shown in some other videos, because I wanted it anyway. It didn't have to be something elaborate like this, but it's what I wanted. So the cost of the actual shift knob and any extension that goes on top of it is completely up to you. I would recommend, because even with this setup, unless you're going to do both on like the default sticks that come with it, the default knobs, which are like that tall with just the little balls, try to keep them within, even this is a kind of a big difference. I'm leaning over a little bit too much, but whatever stick you get, extension and top, just try to make them both kind of similar. Besides that, there are some files that you kind of need to work with. Oh, my beacons are still on. The controls.sii file is where I assign it. Whenever you put it into gear, that triggers a button, and that links it to a certain gear impulse. That identifier is what I carry over into the gear layout, gearbox layout file, where I assign what the names of the gears are. And the only other thing you really need to do is maybe tweak or find a transmission that works with it. Make sure the ratios are good for what you're doing. So there is some involvement with the files. Also keep in mind that I'm pretty much only driving trucks in this profile in this stick pattern. Meaning I have the same controls.sii file in this profile. If I wanted to drive a regular single stick setup in this profile, I would have to then remove the current controls.sii file and bring in the original one, which brings up another great point. Always back up what you have and keep the original somewhere in another folder, because you're going to need to revert back to it if you screw things up or you can't figure out where the coding error is. It's just kind of a good practice type of thing. But you do have to move that controls file in and out if you want to switch between regular single stick and a twin stick like this. Besides that, once you figure out those three files, the transmission, the gearbox layout file, and the controls file, you're pretty much just, I mean, the only other thing I had to do was build this thing, because I only had room. It was attached to this stand that is probably, oh, you can see it a little bit. So this stand had something coming off of it, and it was only made for one stick, so I just went ahead and built this out of 2x4s and 2x3s so that I can, and I've got a sandbag in the front. That's what that black thing is right here, because it gets a little bit heavy. This shifter is pretty heavy duty from HatreyuGaming. The whole thing is like 7 or 8 pounds, so it's offsetting some of that weight, especially when I move it back like that, so the thing doesn't tip over a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely something you want to consider. It takes a little bit of time. You can go into it as much as you want, make it as complex, as easy as you want. But let me know if you guys want me to go through a video more in detail about what I did with the coding, what I did with each one of the files, so that you guys can make up your mind if you want to get going into this, or if it's really just not something that is for you, or you don't have the time right now. Yeah. But there it is. There was the 5.3 Spicer-like shift. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing so you can see all of my videos. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.